Hello, MGTOW. Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to ask the question, are young boys being forced to become transsexual? And I want to read an article that I came across related to this subject and then talk about it a little bit with you guys. Because it's a serious issue, right? And it doesn't have to be physical force. It can just be to compel. And, when they're doing it with a child, it's unforgivable, I feel, okay? That they would try to change, the gender identity of a child. Anyway, let's read the article and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what I think. Okay, here we go. Justice, and listen to the wording, listen to the pronouns that they use and when they use them, okay? And this article is definitely from transsexual, fluid point of view. Justice for a young trans girl that has been taken from her mom and forced to live as a boy. Hope you kind of, caught. Anyway, okay, you'll see. A recent court case has ruled a young trans girl to be removed from her mother and forced to live in her assigned gender. The mother has done nothing wrong but provide support for her child in being who she really is and given her all the love and care in the world to allow her to live out as her true self and authentic self. Okay, so you understand that this is a boy that we're talking about here, okay? And when they say he's being forced to live in her assigned gender role, okay, what they're saying is they're trying to let him live as a boy, as he was born, right? But it's being stated as if her true, the true self of the child is female, and that the mother who has taken the boy and obviously encouraged them to be a female because the child can't know its true self. It hasn't developed its true and authentic self yet. That was what the mother was there supposedly to help him do. But she has assigned the role of female. Moving on. It is saddening and horrendous that a judge would therefore rule against the mother and her daughter who wished to remain with her mother. In an article that appeared on The Guardian, the judge used arguments such as that the kid now liked SpongeBob and the Power Rangers and was liking certain traits associated with men or boys. From a judge, such arguments are completely unacceptable, outdated, and based upon old-fashioned ideas about gender roles and behavior. The fact a judge would even use such examples to support their case shows a clear lack of understanding towards gender and views based upon outdated views and ideologies. Okay, all of that was regarding their characterization of what the judge did. All of that was opinion, okay? None of that was true. It was just them stating what they think the current values of society should be and clearly expressing their offense and outrage at, this horrendous miscarriage of justice that a judge should point out that the little boy is starting to like little boy behavior, which is exactly normal. The idea that the biological parent or the parent, would allow and would encourage this type of gender fluidity and confusion within a child. Young boys, they don't really know that they're boys all the way, not yet. I mean, of course they do, but, they don't start becoming vastly different from little girls until they are about 6 or 7 or 8 years old. Up until that time, they cry, it's no big deal. But then they start getting a little, boyish, little rough play, things like that. But it doesn't happen until they become about 7 or 8 years old. So to not keep that state pure for the child, I consider that to be criminal. But with the current social, cultural values that are out there, no. Apparently the single mother can just, assign, change the roles. Okay, moving on. Trans kids and trans people in general have a lack of support all around the globe. And this case is a sad example of how trans people and their families are treated for allowing their kids to express in accordance with their gender identity. What a manipulative misrepresentation of the truth. To use language, journalism, communication to twist everything to your social views. It's wrong. I don't do that. Let's look at this from 2 points of view, okay? Sure, times are changing. Gender roles are changing. That's fine. But let the little boy be a little boy. And then when he's a young man, if he wants to do something, along gender lines, then let it be an adult decision. Okay? The idea that the state and political interests are involving themselves in this issue at this stage, I believe it's completely wrong. I believe that we should be coming at it from the exact opposite side, that, as I said, that the children should be protected in their biological gender until they reach adulthood, and then they can make a different set of decisions. I feel it's tragic. I can't imagine what a child whose parent allowed this behavior when the child was just trying to please the parent, because that the mothers, they want little girls. And that in many instances, the mothers are discouraging the masculine behavior. Let me just finish up the article here. We believe that this case is a clear case of abuse on behalf of the judge towards the trans kid and their mother. This ruling is unjust and should be revoked or overruled by a higher authority. And then they have a petition which they claim is, about 9,165 supporters, no doubt, right? So this could, in any case, there it is. Now, I've kind of made my views clear along the way on the subject. I think it's worth noting also that the way that this is stated, this absurd case, and I believe it is absurd to try to do this with children, I believe it's criminal and should be outlawed, is stated as if it is social justice. You know what I mean? Like, by protecting the child, it's pretending that is the miscarriage of justice, and that it's using this emotional appeal to the female desire for equality and their preference, their in-group preference for the female. It's then using that and playing upon that, and it's stoking their hatred of men and the existing system in order to undermine this sacred bond between parent and child. So you could understand why, like, a cultural Marxist political ideology would just latch on to this issue and put it forth as, hey, children should have the right to, change their biological gender roles. You can understand why. And it's about reductionism. It's just about tearing down the existing structures and institutions and systems within the West. And, and you make this appeal on the grounds of justice. It's the right thing to do. And remember the Alamo, things like that. So just be aware of this sort of stuff. I think it is the case that there is this push towards discouraging the masculine and encouraging the feminine. And to see it between the parent and the child, and then to see how the institutions and the political interests become involved and twist the situation to their advantage when the child is the one, at the center of the issue. I think it's criminal. I think it should be outlawed. Okay, that's my opinion on that. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.